Oh baby, there we go. 6 times 14 terabyte drives, and I've had surgery on my Achilles, so that is still a thing. It makes everything very difficult. Shaving is also very difficult with a ruptured Achilles, so looking a little rough, so don't judge. In this video, we're going to be wrapping up my storage server part 2 portion, where we go through custom modding the cables for the power supply in order to get more SATA ports, because I had some cables lying around and then I modded them so that they would fit with this new power supply, as well as importing all of the old hardware and making room for those 6 drives in the rack. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy this, and obviously subscribe and smash that like button if you want to see me pump in another 6 14 terabyte drives into the rack mount server that you're about to watch get made. Thank you. See you guys. Okay, it works. There we go. Nice. Okay, now to put everything back in, including the motherboard. All right, so it's the next day because we had this out of the server and we need to replace these fans with blue fans to go with my theme. So I bought this pack of 3 of Corsair 120 millimeter LED fans, which ran me about 50 bucks. So we're gonna replace this one, and then we're going to install one in this cage here, and we're probably for temporary, until we can get another cage, temporarily just zip tie it into the back here and have it blowing air through. So we'll have 3 front fans, and that should be good enough for airflow through the drive cages as well as to the computer for now. All right, so we have all the fans finally installed. This one is installed with 2 zip ties up here. It's actually pretty hard to get in. That's just temporary until we can get another drive cage here. So the next step is we're gonna be moving it over there and reinstalling it into the front of the case that we have the two sliders, rack rails installed on. So here we go. All right, now that the case is done, the rails are put on and the drives and the fans are installed at the front. Everything is screwed in. The next thing we have to do is start working on the new motherboard. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this massive behemoth of a CPU cooler, put it out for sale because this thing is just gargantuan. We're gonna install one of the stock coolers that I had sitting around. 2 reasons. One, for now, this computer is not going to be doing anything. Eventually it might turn into my main Plex hosting server, but for now it's just going to be hosting drives that are either CHIA or and my Plex drives. So we're just gonna have this stock cooler, trying not to put any more money into this project, and yeah, let's go ahead and start taking this thing off. All right, now for the issue with the power supply. This came with the computer that we just picked up. It's a Be Quiet power supply. I think it's 650, 680, and it's got basically modular power connectors. It only came with one SATA power connector, which only has 3 SATA ports, and it kind of goes in like so. Boom, bada 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 bing. The issue is because we're using this for a lot more drives, I'm gonna wanna use all 4 of these. And since this only has 3, I'm gonna have to have a lot more connected. I don't have any more connected, but I do have other modular power supplies that are in the same form factor. The only issue is I'm gonna have to take off the end, switch it around, and then plug it in. But because this has colored wires, you can actually see if the pinouts are the same. So it's really easy to determine if your pinouts are good and you're not going to blow your motherboard when you plug in a different modular power supply cable. Sorry. So let's go find those cables, and we're gonna have to start making them. All right, so I found my old cables that have the same kind of pinout design here, and you can see that it goes orange, black, red, black, yellow. This is the factory cable, and it goes orange, black, yellow, which is excellent, except this piece here needs to be flipped around to the other side because they have a different pinout system. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this off, find a way of taking this off, rotating it around, and then it'll be able to go in with the same type of pinout. See how it lines up there like that? So basically I just need to flip this pin around and put it back on. So we're going to try and do that. Okay, so that was a really big pain to get these out, but I finally figured a trick with a bobby pin to get them out. So now I just have to put it back into the connector, but with it reversed so that it lines up with the original connector, orange, blah, 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 and then this has to be the same kind of feed as that. So we're gonna do that for an additional 3 cables. All right, so we got all of the SATA cables converted from my old pinout system, which is this one here. So we've got it, we removed it, flipped the connector, and now we're able to put in all 12, which is great. I don't need all 12 right away, but in fact I need probably 6 right away. So we'll plug in the original as the primary, of course, and then we'll plug in the rest of them. So here's one. This is the original one, but the original has 3, and get rid of that for now. And then we'll start plugging in the others, which are orange, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to snap in because it doesn't have the same lock-in mechanism. And there is also a chance that this just blows up because they're not connected properly or something, but from what I can see, it looks like it should work. So here's all 12. There we go. So all 12 of them are connected, and that gives us the ability to have all 12 drives here installed. So we're getting ready to boot this up actually. What I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to start cable managing, toss in a drive, and just try and turn it on. Actually, I haven't turned it on yet, so let's get the monitor and try and boot her up. All right, just one more server to shut down. Then we're gonna remove all of the drives out of here, put them into the new case. Ooh, that's quiet. We've removed the 2.5 gigabit card out of here. We're gonna put it into the new case. Then we're gonna have to do the wiring in the back end and see if it boots up. This one is actually an SSD that's just connected in the back there. Woo, it's dusty. There we go. Now we gotta install these into the other one. Then we'll pull this puppy out and install the new rack. That took a lot longer than expected. These sleds are really difficult to get in, and unless the this piece here is completely flush, it just will not go in. But anyways, we got them all in. We got them all cabled. It looks like a mess, but actually had to zip tie quite a few of it, and it works great. We have 2 of our SATA connectors in for a total of 6 power SATA connections, which is all we need. We have 6 drives, and luckily this motherboard happened to have 6 SATA ports, so we're good on that. If we want to expand, when we do, we're gonna have an additional 6 drives. We'll have to have another SATA expansion here, and we have, because we created the 2 the 2 SATA powers, we now have the SATA power for extra drives. So that's awesome, great expandability. Now we're gonna boot it up, see if it turns on, and then toss it into the rack. And we installed the 2.5 gigabit switch here because we're going to be now sending all the plots to new drives that are in this. So it's starting to come together after a lot of tedious work. All right, after being petrified, it did come up with all the drives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this one's actually partitioned. So everything's running, all the drives are working. I know it looks like a cable mess, but really the SATA portion is so tight that I had to zip tie them really tightly. So for now, that's gonna work until we start expanding and we're gonna have more drives. I might rejig things a little bit, but I have room for 6 more drives. I would just need to buy 1 more 6-piece SATA connector, and then it would work. So Oh my goodness, okay. So we finally replaced it. It is working. It's got a little bit of a space there, which I know how to fix, but this is like a two-person job. So I'm just gonna leave it as is, and that looks pretty sick if I do say so myself. It's up, it's running, all the drives are working, and it's got tons of room for expansion. I got a 3060 Ti in there, can put in more, just need to get the power plugs. So there we go, that is, oh wow, look how cool that looks. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this stuff, subscribe please, and like this video. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. So we upgraded Iceman with expandability for my new drives, which just arrived today. So that's gonna be coming in a future video. I'm gonna post a little quick teaser for the next video because I ended up having to completely replace the motherboard on Viper, which was a disaster. I have no idea what happened, but the motherboard bit the dust. So I'm gonna be combining that into part 3, which will be coming up here shortly, maybe in a week or two. And I'm hoping to get some interviews injected into this channel as well, but time is just flying by and it's really hard to get the time. So subscribe, like, comment, let me know how you feel about this stuff. I enjoy making it. I don't enjoy video editing, so if you enjoy it, then make it be heard. Thanks guys, enjoy.